Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today I'm going to be building the most important element of my cargo area on the build desk, and that is the cargo itself. Good. Well, so far in the cargo area, we've got a small historic fortlet, we've got a big Coast Guard station that's kind of on multiple levels and is two-sided and all the rest of it. I'm really happy with that one. The cargo crane, which links our cargo area with the near train line, with the great big long cargo train, of course. And we've even made a start on the offices and all of the cargo racking for all our wonderful goods. But the thing that is missing itself and is going to be needed in great quantities is the cargo itself. And we're going to need an absolute load to make that whole area packed and stacked and to fill all of that racking. And that problem only gets worse when you consider the suggestion that a lot of you made last time to improve the racking was to make it double height. So rather than have 4 bays of sort of 2 height storage, you're saying I should actually double it to make them all 4 levels of height. So essentially I'm going to have 16 cargo bays all in the racking that all need filling as well. So yeah, I'm really going to need to get making a lot of cargo today. But before we get on to all of that, I did want to focus as well on these really interesting pieces that I got on a Lego Bricks and Pieces haul a while back with this rather wonderful Cargo Connect logo with its blue plane and green truck on the bottom there. And this roof piece, 4x4, and these 2x2 tiles with the same logo on are still available if you're interested. They're part of set 45816, the first Lego League Challenge from 2021. And if you search that set number and maybe filter by white pieces, you'll find them straight away still available, because I think they're really nice logos. So I wanted to incorporate these into a cargo-based build, probably a truck or something like that, or maybe a forklift or something very relevant for this area. But the problem is, to make a truck, well, they're usually 6 studs wide, so making one with quite a Diddy 4 wide roof was going to be a bit of a challenge. So what I usually do in this sort of situation is look for inspiration in the Lego catalogue, past sets and so on, and look at things that, well, use a 4 wide roof piece. And one set that sort of really stood out to me was the Maersk train set 10219 from 2011. Now this is a very expensive train now, well over £400 if you want one. It used to be £90 when it was originally on sale, so yeah, I should have got it at the time really, shouldn't we? But it isn't the train itself that I'm interested in. Well, I am, but in this particular build, it's the little container truck that comes with that set, which is a rather fantastic sort of asymmetrical design. And it's got one of these 4x4 roofs. And I thought, ooh, that is tasty. I like it. I want to build one of those. And it'll either go in this cargo area on this side, or maybe on the other side of the harbour where we're dealing with the much bigger containers. So how about going into Lego Digital Designer, building the set in there, and then trying a cheeky recolor, because we aren't going to get those Maersk blue bricks for any decent money either. But maybe not that cheeky change of recolor. That pink's a bit crazy, isn't it? But maybe using some of the colours in the logo, so maybe green, or maybe green and blue, or blue and green maybe? Or just blue. Ooh, now that is nice. Yeah, I do like that. So those are the pieces that I collected over the past few weeks and months in order to make my recoloured Maersk container truck. Well, it's not really Maersk anymore since we've lost all the colouring, but it looks really nice. It's not quite finished because I do need to add those Cargo Connect pieces onto the top with the siren back on. Oh, looking nice. Yeah, I really do like that asymmetric sort of front. Really good. And the 2 sides, of course, with the 2x2 tile, just so we can see even more of that logo. Yeah, I really like that. That's turned out rather well. I think you'll agree. Move these guys back so we can see it properly. Yeah, that looks great. Now, I haven't done the great big huge trailer because that would be right out to about here, and I don't really want to take up too much area in my cargo area with just one thing. So essentially, I'm either going to have this sort of coming out of the wall in a sort of facade style, or just maybe have this without anyone in it, just parked up like it's just temporarily out of use. But either way, I think it'll look rather great because of that wonderful colour, the wonderful logo, and its wonderful shape. So yeah. So if you ever run out of ideas, but you've got an interesting piece to use, my advice is just to look at the Lego catalogue and recolour something that you really just can't afford. I've done it before with the shunter train on the back of my cargo train as well. So yeah, it works really well. I'm really happy with that. Right, next we need to get on with all of this cargo. So, well, things like this have got something to pull. Right, so onto the cargo then. And this area is very much focusing on pallet or crate-based cargo. And that's because most of this cargo is going to be transported from a train onto road haulage, onto trucks, and they're a lot smaller. So they aren't going to be taking the huge sort of shipping containers that I've got over in my harbour area. And I'm using the very simple 4x6 plate as the basis for all of these because I really want them to be very visible, the contents, not sort of contained inside something like they would be in real life for protection, but I want each one to be its own kind of mini scene and look really interesting and draw the eye. And we're going to need an absolute load of these, as I've discussed already, in that if I'm going to double the height of all of my racking, that means we're going to have 16 slots there. I want to have absolutely loads of it kind of lying around because although that's not realistic to real life either, usually it would be very organised indeed. This is Lego, so I want it to be a complete mess. Loads of accidents happening and trip hazards and all the rest of it all over the place. So 16 in racking and probably, a good, 8 outside and a few on trucks and all the rest of it. So I'm going to need, I think, at least 24 of these things covered with interesting pieces. And that shouldn't be too hard, actually, because I've been collecting relevant parts for this for, years now. It's almost 3 years that my channel's been running. And every time I see an interesting part on a brick haul, I buy it for the interests of sort of making interesting cargoes. We've got bricks with interesting stickers on, panels where I've moved stickers onto more interestingly, usefully shaped pieces, even tail fins where they've got a sort of cargo logo on, the fronts of trains many times. Things that go on the top of a truck, signs that say anything even remotely cargo related, and even sticker sheets when they have something that looks like perhaps it's got a barrel top on it. So I've got an absolute mound of pieces that I'm going to be drawing from in order to make all of these interesting things a reality. And that's the real interesting thing about doing these cargo things as well, is that you can use literally anything. Because if you can buy it, then, it needs to get transported from A to B. So we don't have to do just the sort of relatively boring stuff that we've done already, like these bananas with an unwelcome traveller of a great big tropical spider, or pineapples. And these are great because they look fantastic, all the colour and shape and so on. But we can go much more wide and use pretty much any piece we can imagine. So here I've got some strawberry jam, all being transported that was surplus to requirements from my supermarket, for example. So those are 3 we had already. Then there's ones from official Lego sets, like the 60022 Cargo Terminal, which is an interestingly named set because it doesn't include a cargo terminal whatsoever. It does include the great big cargo plane, though, and that has these very interesting packages on a pallet. So we've got some nice tan ones, green ones, and the all-important Lego trucks. So that's good. Then it comes with this 2-part kind of ATV, kind of quad bike type thing, where you've got the steering wheel and the main body there, and all the wheels in a different crate. So I really like that. So I'll add those to my heap. And then very precious, but quite boring, is this gold transport. So it's full of gold bars that are kind of rattly and loose, but they are covered up. So if I end up with too many, this might actually be one that doesn't make the cut because it just looks like a brown blob as it is now. And that wasn't the only one that I'd had from existing sets. I've had a few that came with container trucks, but they've already got those things in them, so I've left them where they were. But this is one that I had surplus from the Cargo Train Deluxe, which is just some engine blocks on a pallet. So I really like that. And that's a good example of just, thinking about anything that could be on a palette. And to make that case even more, from the Kryptonite Interception set 76045, we've got this wonderful glowy sort of collection of Kryptonite crystals, Beware Superman, that are being transported from A to B, and I really like that as well. So these are all official ones that I'm going to be including in my cargo area, but I think I can do, well, a lot better. So I'm going to get really creative and do some, well, really different stuff as well. So what do you do when you've got a small build that you really like, but you've got no way of incorporating it into your city, into any of the existing builds? Well, my idea is to basically put it on a pallet and call it cargo, and then it's completely appropriate for an area. So here we go. This is a very interesting safe build with a nice turning handle and so on, and these stickers suggesting it's very robust indeed. But yeah, on a pallet, it fits perfectly as cargo. So I really like that. The next one is an exhibit, actually, of a caveman that was part of the museum build from 60200 Capital City set. And I really didn't like that museum build, and I've got a museum, but it's basically an art museum. So, you know, maybe this is just on its own, travelling by train to a different museum in a different city. After all, we have got the Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton on the back of my cargo train as it is, so this is quite in keeping, actually. So yeah, a really nice micro build, but nowhere to put it. So put it on a pallet, and now it is cargo. And you can even have a very sort of disgruntled cargo yard employee with his checklist thinking, how on earth am I going to fit that in a racking when it's so fragile and tall? So you can have an interesting scene like that. And then talking of interesting scenes, why not get very interesting cargo indeed by way of this Monster Fighter's coffin? And why not have the coffin being accidentally opened and out popping the glow-in-the-dark faced vampire? So basically, I thought an employee could be accidentally arousing the creature of the night from his slumber, and basically have a scene where this lid is coming off at an angle and the employee is absolutely terrified and is running for his life. So there's lots of opportunities for really interesting scenes here as well, I think. And just so that stays on a bit more firmly, I'm just going to add this sort of setup that won't be seen. So when I put the lid on there, it just stays on in the right position for how I want it. So basically that scene can be that, and this guy making a run for it. And I think that is really nice. Now, I have cheated a little bit in that I've basically had to put this on a 4x8 crate, so it isn't a standard one. But then outsized goods would be put on a different size pallet. So I don't think that is necessarily a problem. And I've done the same thing here with a sarcophagus. So it's pretty much the same idea, but I had one of these pieces going around as well, and I thought I really wanted to use it. So I've put a postage label on one end, and I've put the Mystery of the Mummy sort of tile on the other end, which comes from that Scooby-Doo set that it comes with, the 75900 Mummy Museum Mystery. And I've got these chains just so it can be lifted very carefully without doing any damage. And it actually rattles quite a bit, and that's because I've basically put some mummy's treasure in there. So if we take those two bits off, we can see it's absolutely full, not of a mummy, but of a sort of massive gold sword and loads and loads of jewels. So I think that's a really good, fun build to include as well. And I did actually have another safe piece, which I quite liked, which was this very ornate container one. And I just thought that that could go on the middle of another crate, and I've made this one deliberately different with its sides all in grey and so on, because I thought I might incorporate some stickers on this one. So maybe this is not for gold like in that crate or whatever's in this safe, but it's specifically for diamonds, because I've got these stickers here from the Diamond Co., which are part of the set 60243 Police Helicopter Chase from 2020, and I thought I might put those on those side panels there, just to make it very clear that these are full of diamonds. And that's a really nice thing, in a way, for all the crooks in my city to very nicely label all of the really valuable goods, so they're easy to spot, so they're easier to steal, because they wouldn't want to steal a vampire when diamonds are on offer. Though I suppose there's actually probably more gems in there. Anyway, Yeah, some really interesting, lumpy, different shapes and sizes of cargo there. What do you think of those? So there is our safe with Diamond Co stickers attached. And I really like that one as well. Adds a bit of contrast and a target for crooks. Then the next section I want to look at is chemicals, because a lot of cities produce chemicals for use in industrial processes, like my GBC factory, where they make big balls, ginormous balls, out of, well, chemical ingredients, presumably. So we're going to need a lot of barrels using round bricks like this lime one with these hazard stripes on, or this grey one with these skull and crossbones stickers on, which I really like very much. And as I say, I've been collecting all these things for absolutely ages, so I've got loads of them. So I can make a very interesting barrel just by adding a transparent brick on top of there. And I've deliberately done that to make them very colourful and a bit sort of dangerous ooze looking. It's not very realistic that they'd have a sort of clear section on, but you know, hey ho. So yeah, I've got 7 of those. So I'm just going to stack the extra one on top. So that looks like an absolute mound of those. And these had 2 stickers on opposite sides, and I've used my patented hot tea technique to move them. So we've basically got some showing from absolutely every angle when I add them onto a palette like this. So basically all the interior angles don't have the stickers on. And that makes up for the fact that when I got some of them, one of the stickers might be missing. So these ones have only actually got one on the one side it's showing. Oh, tell a lie, that one's actually got 2 on. I must have had some with some bonus ones. But nonetheless, that looks really good as well. Something very dangerous. And I've just used another neon colour to make that look extra nasty. So these I've got in quite big numbers, so I can make a double sort of stack of that stuff. In fact, no, I got that in real numbers. I've been collecting far too many. I could arguably do with a lot bigger cargo area, to be fair. So yeah, I've got an absolute load of those. And it doesn't stop there. I've gone with sort of purple ooze that you might see in that stream of Ghostbusters or something like that. And I've used these S stickers from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set just as the sort of corporate logo for those. So yeah, and the ridged ones to make them a little bit different there. And I've got a shared palette here of some blue ones and yellow ones as well. These ones being nuclear and these being, well, who knows what. So they're obviously on their way somewhere very important. Maybe these are for disposal in Brick Derby, who knows. So yeah, a whole load of barrel containers for use all over the city, and usually these are stored in a slightly different area, so I might have these not on the normal racking because they are dangerous, and have them behind kind of barriers that sort of show that you shouldn't go near them if you don't know what you're doing. And I can even add on these sort of clip-on signs. Oh, I've done it upside down. So it's sort of giving you a warning of what is beyond chemicals and flammability and all the rest of it. So I can do that. So I'm hoping I've got enough area in my cargo area for a sort of roped off section like this. And I can even have sort of chains bridging entryways or something like that. So that's the idea there. But yeah, a really bright and interesting scene, I think you'll agree. And the use of all these stickers makes it just all the more vivid. So yeah, that's really good. Now, I was just looking through my stickers and I did find another sticker sheet that had been sent in actually. And it's one of these really vintage ones that I'm almost loath to pull any off just because it's such a beautiful sheet. That one wasn't me. But I think I am going to use some actually. And it's these absolutely fantastic vintage transport ones. Now, these went on some very, very old sets back in the day, and often they went across brick assemblies. That is where 2 bricks are joined together and the sticker went across them, which actually has been done more recently on things like that Maersk train. The front of that's got a great big sticker across several pieces, which is one of the reasons why I didn't buy it, because they never last very well. But I didn't want to add these stickers to several bricks and have a gap across them. So I was looking in the catalogue of where else they were used in the past, and they were actually used on these container boxes, also in yellow, on the sides there. So I could use a pair on that one and a pair on another one. And that was actually done on another Maersk set, 1552 Maersk Line container truck from 1985. So that is what I'm going to do here and replicate those builds and maybe put the 2 of these on a palette, making sure that the transport stickers are very visible. Well, there is those transport stickers on those original yellow box pieces, and it's a real privilege using these vintage stickers in a kind of authentic way. I'm going to get some real good nostalgia looking at these boxes, because those yellow transport logos are a real blast from the 80s. So yeah, that's going to be absolutely great. So I actually prefer that to a lot of the more intricate builds, just for that pang of nostalgia. Yeah, that looks absolutely great. So thanks again for those stickers. You know who you are. So we've got 21 different pallets here. And although that is already filling the racking and some, a lot of them are going to be lying around in interesting scenes and in different roped off areas and so much, if I've got enough space, that is. But essentially I've still got room for more, I think, but I probably have gone far too far with my collecting. I just never know when to stop. So essentially I just keep getting and getting and getting, and then, well, probably got too much. I think I could have filled a cargo area twice as big. Anyway, the first one I'm going to show you is kind of an outsized one, but it is just a really beautiful Midway arcade game on its own palette. And I wanted that from the 71235 Midway Arcade level pack, set from 2016. I wanted that on its own palette just because it was too beautiful to kind of bury in an arcade with its wonderful screen and stickers on the sides. So I wanted it to be in pride of place, maybe getting loaded onto the back of a truck or something like that. So that is absolutely great, going to one lucky recipient, no doubt. But then I've got more standard builds with stickered parts. So I've got a pallet of Spinware safety gear here with some profile bricks and one tub of Fuel for Speed. But yeah, I've bought too many of these because I've got another 5 here of Spinware. And I try and orientate these in different directions and so on, and have different gaps just to make it look a bit more organic. And you really can use anything. So here we've got some 1x2 tiles that say Turbo Oil, and they're just on a 2x3 brick that's inside the box that's on the pallet. So there we go. That's pretty simple to do, but very effective. Then here I've made use of these really interesting cargo logo panels. They're kind of the, I guess, 80s or maybe 90s type logo. That's the equivalent of the more sort of recent one here. And these are just boxed engines. So sometimes fully built engines will get shipped to somebody who does car customs, and they'll just take it out and plonk it straight into some hot rod they're doing. So I've got a couple of those on a crate, and it just means that you can use some really interesting pattern pieces, hidden pattern pieces, on a pallet. So yeah, I really like that. Very colourful and interesting looking indeed. So I've extended that theme again with another one here, using loads of random engine parts and some Octan panel pieces, this time in green, and then a couple of packages of something flammable that goes in a black box. Yeah, so that's that one. Talking of boxes, I've got an absolute load of these, a shed load of boxes with the right way up stickers on the brick and the fragile stickers on the top. So yeah, I've got all of these over many, many, many hauls. Here we've got loads of ones from Stark Industries and Hammer and AIM. So that's all sort of Marvel related stuff, I believe. All different size packages again. Here we've got some Lego ones with some boxes with sort of addresses and airmail stripes on, and these lovely red Lego boxes as well. Grey packages, white packages, and I've used one of my bricks here with the kind of slope piece to suggest this one's had a little bit of damage on the corner. I really like that. I'm going to have another one of those I got in the same haul going to be delivered to somebody, I think, with them looking disgruntled at their doorstep, but that's good there. Some more Marvel pieces, I think, with whatever that says, DODC or DDC or something. Anyway, a few of those, and then a few of these, well, they almost look like Flash type symbols with Z or Z barrels, and another crate there, all sorts of different stuff. Then Lego proper. Lego have made absolutely loads of these box sets. I think there's about 10 different ones that you can get outside the sort of VIP set where there's a load more, but of these city ones with the bulldozer, the helicopter and so on. So I've got a load of different ones there, and jumper plates included, so you can kind of have them falling off a little bit. This one I had just a load of these great big truck ones, so there's a great big pile of those. Yep, there's more. Another sort of mixed bag of all sorts of different ones with another jumper plate so we can have one at an angle. And they're really interesting to look at, these, and you can just imagine them kind of on the front of a forklift truck or something, and that's why they've all shifted in transit, because nobody's packed them properly in a classic sort of Lego City style. But yeah, there's more. Then there's loads of these green ones as well. 2 pallets of those. Yeah, so I've obviously collected too many of those parts as well. Here's a different one, an even older sort of cargo logo with a yellow box on the blue world. Yep, so there's a pallet of those as well. Here's some Oscorp, so that's probably Marvel. If not, it's DC. But yeah, I've got 5 of those that I've collected over the weeks and months. So there's that one. Here we've got these cargo barrels, or rather containers. So that's an interesting thing. But I've also got a different sticker on the top which says Mars Crystal Cargo. So yeah, loads of those. Very nice. The next set were inspired by Ultra Agent sets, where they've got these kind of lids that come off these containers, and they have this kind of trans bit at the back and a handle on the front. So that's sort of from lots of different Ultra Agent sets. The baddies are trying to usually steal those. And I've also added these wonderful security transport stickers onto the lids of all of those, so they must be something valuable as well, but it adds even more colour and interest. I'm running out of space. And yep, I definitely over collected all of them as well, because I've got 4 more of those as well. Then, if that wasn't enough, I've got some different light grey ones and 1 different dark grey one there, all from absolutely too many sets to tell you about, and some tan ones and some more dark tan ones as well. Yeah, loads and loads of those as well. And that's before we even get onto the stuff that I'm not going to have on pallets, like some random watermelons that sort of got rolling around, because I'm planning on some sort of spillage scene that can just be off a pallet. And what scene is complete without a treasure chest? So that just needs to be somewhere. And then I've even got more containers with things like drinks cans in, or maybe they're cans of oil or something like that, just lying around all over the place. So yeah, so all of this is now 45 crates. And what was my target? 24. Yeah, I might have too much to use. So some of this can go on the backs of lorries and trucks throughout my city, I guess. Or maybe I'll just have it piled incredibly high. I don't know. But yeah, I can now safely stop collecting cargo tiles. I have enough. Stop, Robin. You've got them all. So I think this video is actually testament to 2 factors. One is that I've got an absolutely wonderful array of different coloured and shaped cargo here that's going to make my cargo area look absolutely fantastic. And the second is that I've got a real Lego collection addiction problem here going on. My name is Robin and I am a Lego addict because, wow, I've just got too much, haven't I, really? If you think about the area that I'm trying to fill with this, it's, well, about this sized actually, so I'm really going to have to economise quite well next week when we get on to, well, part 5 of this build, incorporating all of this and that double height racking. So yeah, thanks as always for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be getting a brick haul from Bricklink, where we'll be getting hopefully all of the parts for that double height racking. And we can have this bad boy parked up nearby. I really do like that. Then on Friday, we'll be doing another mock build. And then next Monday, well, I'll be taking all of this up to the Lego room to be incorporated. And I think we're going to have quite a job on our hands actually getting it all in. It's going to be absolutely crazy because I've got a checkpoint to go in as well, and well, all sorts of stuff, but it will be a great video. I kind of hope I can get it all done and it doesn't overflow into part 6, but I'm sure it'll be great fun, so I'm really looking forward to it. So until then, see you!